Max. So let's talk. All right. So I wanted to come on live. I don't know if this is how it's supposed to be set up to allow people to come on, but Truth Lady wanted to come on and discuss something that I was talking about earlier because I was discussing why do immigrants still want to come to the United States with all that's going on over here? Has anybody given them the memo? Do not do have they had a false narrative painted to them to make it seem like America is still the place to be. But with all of the things that we have going on here, is it really a wise decision to come to America? And this is a really good question. This is something that I really want to know because with the climate of the United States right now, it's not a very favorable place. And there's a lot of when you're outside of the country and you hear the different ideas and the different gossip that is going on about the United States, you'll see that we are considered a pretty dangerous place to be, even more so than a lot of the third world countries that we often talk about. And so I just really wanted to delve into it because she said that she was making the point that you know immigrants coming into this country, they're taking our money, and our money, our tax money, is being used to support these people as they come here. And you know, I understand that that is true to a certain extent, but in all fairness, if we really want to be fair about it, if you look at what the United States is spending out to other nations. Um, we send money to Israel annually, millions and millions of dollars to Israel annually. We're back in the Ukraine in their war against Russia with weapons and money as well. We give reparations to the Native Americans. Well, they do. The government gives reparations to the Native Americans. They give reparations to the Asian Americans or the descendants of those who laid the railroad tracks here in the United States. We give out so much money to so many different foreign entities that at least the money that we push towards the immigrants that come here is going to benefit America. I mean, these other foreign interests that we fund aren't really helping us here in the home front. We're not seeing it in the home front, in the local areas, in the local businesses and things like that, in the same way that we do when we have the people who come across the border who's looking for an opportunity. And so I would rather spend my money on something that would be considered more of a solid investment, such as people who are looking for an opportunity to build their life and they're willing to help me build my dream business up in order for all of us to make our dreams come true. And so I see that as a more solid investment, as opposed to all of these different foreign relationships that we pour a lot of money into as a country, and that's our taxpayer dollars as well. And so, you know, I don't know. There's so many different opinions. Nobody's opinion is right or wrong. We all have our own view of things, and we have the freedom to exercise those views, and that is kind of like the whole silver lining of the whole conversation is the fact that people want to come to the United States so that they can have that opportunity to be able to express their views, be able to express the life that they desire and work towards that. Just given an opportunity, they don't care about it even being a fair shot, just a shot. and they will help to build up the industry that they work for. You know, they're going to be a good employee because they have a bigger goal in mind, and it's they know that they have to um, be better than the competition in order to get a foot in the door to put themselves in position to make that money. And so they're willing to do the things that the other American workers are not willing to do. They're willing to stay over. They're willing to work the double shifts. They're willing to work 7 days a week. They're willing to skip vacation days. They're willing to do all of those things so that they can be ahead of the competition, because that's the only way that they're going to be able to get what they're desiring. And so they have more of an incentive than we do. It's kind of like the kid who goes to college on a scholarship versus the kid who goes to college because his dad is a booster there and an alumni there. You know, that kid on that scholarship, he's more hungry. He's got more incentive to work hard. He's got more incentive to push forward and go above and beyond to prove that he deserves to be there, as opposed to the one who's just got his way paid through, regardless of how his academic performance is. You know, the world that we live in is just like that. We're not going to have this utopia that everybody is alluding to whenever they make their suggestions and opinions about how things should go. Yeah, things should go a certain way, things should be a certain way, but that's only in a perfect world. And we don't live in a perfect world by far. So we have to play the hand that we're dealt in life. And that's just the truth of the matter. We have to play the hand that we're dealt in life, because if we do not play the hand that we're dealt in life, you know, you're subject to stay lost in the game. You'll never be able to win or lose if you don't play the game. And so you never know what your skill level is. You never know what you're able to accomplish and what you're capable of if you're scared to play the game. But you have to play the hand that you're dealt in life. And some of us are dealt a real dirty hand. Some of us are dealt a great hand. But regardless of what it is, you got to make what you can make out of it. That is what it is. You know, and people who come to this country, people who come to this country, whether legally or illegally, you know, I would not deprive them of anything, because the money that we're spending out is excess. It's excess. We don't really see that money. We really don't. We don't have any problem with the government or the banking system taking our money and making money off of our money while simultaneously charging us to hold our money. We don't have any problem with that. We don't have any problem with all of the heavy taxation that we're under in a government who's basically charging us to die slow, because most of the things that we eat are poisoned. Most of the things that we eat are not conducive to our body because it's not natural. And we're paying our government to kill us slowly. So I don't see why we should have a problem with investing in people. I don't see a problem with some of my tax dollars going towards someone being able to build a life for their family and being able to thrive and live. I'd rather see my money go towards that than to see it go towards corporate America, to see it go towards Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and guys like that. I would much more rather see my money go to an immigrant family who's trying to live a quality life, just like all of us are. That's just where I stand on that. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to see how this is supposed to work. I don't know if Truth Lady sees this. Let me see. Live chat message. All messages are visible. Yeah. Okay. Welcome to live chat. Okay, I got my live chat on. Okay. Let me see what else I need to do. All right, I think this is set how it's supposed to be. So if you wanted to come on and say anything, then you're more than welcome to come on and talk to me about this subject because, this is a very touchy subject that a lot of people have argued about. This is something that uh, Donald Trump ran on. So it was never fixed, it was never resolved, and it never will be because as long as America is casted in the narrative that goes forth to the rest of the world, then people are always going to feel like this is the place where they can run to for refuge. And we have sanctuary cities who are willing to house and accommodate people who are trying to find refuge. So, as long as these things are available and people hear about it and they are living in an austere environment, of course, they're going to try to make it there, and that is what it is. And people are talking about overpopulating and the wrong people getting in the country, and we need to be more worried about the people that's in our government. We need to worry about getting those people out. We need to worry about vetting that system first, because the more we vet that system and the more we get that system tightened up, then we're going to have capable and able people in position to make sure that all of those other things tighten up as well. It's all a trickle down effect. That's just how it goes. If we have a sure and capable government with sure and capable, then we will be able to get right in these areas. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm by Fort Hood, and we have all types of aircrafts coming over because we also have the Fort Hood Airport as well. So use all the stuff outside going on. But back to what I was saying. Yeah, immigration. I have no problem with people coming here, finding a life and building a life for themselves. We was brought here. Not about we didn't come here on our own accord, but when we got here, we had to make do with what we had, and we had to build, and we built up to where we are thus far. Now, people who came over on their own accord seeking a better life versus people who were stolen and brought here. Uh, that's two different narratives and two different motivations for a people. I remember back in the 80s, a lot of black people were real big on going back to Africa. That was always the big thing. We wore the medallions and we wore the colors and we was Mother Africa down. And everybody had this big idea to make an exodus back to Africa. Um, some people did go, but a majority, no, it was all talk. It was an emotional hyping. Everybody was hyped about the idea, and but when it came down to actually making that move, all of those uncertainties and um, all of that low self-esteem and lack of confidence started to well up, and it stopped people from going through with it. But the people who were strong enough to see the vision through, some of them over there prospering and doing well, others, got caught up in life, and that's just what it is. But we had a strong sense of black pride back then, and we had a strong sense of trying to be connected to our African roots. But it really never really went that far because a lot of people started to understand that, we had this idea in our head that we was going to get back to Africa, and there was going to be the people out there waiting for us, and open arms ready to embrace us and welcome back home. But no, it wasn't quite like that. And a lot of people got a taste of that harsh reality that it wasn't like that. And it deterred a lot of people. But either way it go, man, we believe different narratives about different countries, and we need to let that go. We need to see for ourselves, or do some research, and really find out the truth behind stuff, instead of just believing the narratives that are presented to us on these devices because it's easy and it's convenient. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, where I stand on immigration is not a popular opinion, but I'm not trying to be popular. I'm just telling my truth and the way that I see things. So the border is always going to be open for me. I mean, how can you have a statue of liberty that's declaring, bring me all of your downtrodden and all of your sick and all of those that are, what I'm saying? How can you make that declaration as a country but not stand by it? When it's time to step up and practice what you preach, or back up what you say, you don't stand on that, you backpedaling. That's fake to me, and I don't like that as a representation of our country. So if we're not going to stand by that declaration that's on that Statue of Liberty, that Statue of Freedom, then we need to take that statue down along with that saying and all of that, and tuck it away somewhere if it's not going to be the truth that we stand on anymore. The foundation of this country is no longer being held up to. Everything that the American people agreed to stand on is now being manipulated, and is being taken out of context, and is being uh, just ran through the ringer because people want to do their own thing, and they don't want to live by any type of standard, and they don't want to have any type of discipline. They just want to do what they will. That is the whole of the law. And that is the spirit that is prevalent in all of these things that are going on. When you strip it down to the bare bones of it, to the core of it, people want to do what they want to do. They don't have any consideration for anybody else. They don't care about anybody else when we're supposed to be watching over others. That don't mean just people in the United States. That means that we're supposed to watch over all people, especially if we're in a position to where we can, because we complain about tax dollars. Either way it go, no matter what those tax dollars go towards, those tax dollars are going to be taken out of your checks. Whether it's spent on immigration and immigrants coming into this country and building a life, or whether it's spent on policing, or whether it's spent on the streets out here to be fixed, no matter what they spend that money on, that tax is still coming out your check. So I don't see what it's no inconvenience to any of us because we don't even see that money. I mean, what are we really talking about whenever we say things like that? That's human life that we're just disregarding, and we feel like we have the right to disregard other human life in a place that we don't really belong. That's, I mean, to each his own. To each his own on that. But I just feel differently about that. I feel like I thank God that I'm where I am. All of the events that took place were atrocious and were horrible, and our people endured a lot. But to be honest, if that didn't take place, where do you think you would be right now? This is to all of us so-called African Americans. Now, if you believe in other theories of how we got here and things of that nature, then this ain't for you. But this is for the African Americans. If the events did not take place that took place in order for us to be over here in the United States of America, where do you think you would be right now? Where do you think your family would be right now? Would you be somewhere in Uganda? Would you be somewhere in Zimbabwe? Would you be somewhere in Cameroon? Would you be somewhere where the quality of living is very harsh and very low, as opposed to being where you are, to where you have an opportunity to live a decent life if you're willing to put forth just the smallest amount of effort? That's real. That's real. Think about that. Have you ever thought about that? Where would you actually be if we wasn't brought over here on those ships? What would your family line have grown to be? You know what I'm saying? Who knows? So when we talk about being brought over here and immigration and stuff like that, I don't think we really have a place to speak on people being let into this country and having an opportunity to make something of themselves, especially when our whole civil rights movement is about that, being able to just be treated like a human being and have an opportunity to make a decent life. So why would you want to deprive that from somebody else when we have the right to, or we have the ability to offer that to them, and it's not a big inconvenience to us? I mean, we complain about taxes, but that's coming out of our excess. Paying taxes is not breaking you. Paying taxes means that, oh, you can't have that extra trip that y'all wanted to go on, or you're gonna have to wait an extra year to get that other car that you wanted to upgrade to, or um, all of these little things that we really, really don't need. It's just conveniences that we're paying for, and we'll complain about having to pay for the things that are just minimal. They're minute things in the whole grand scope of everything. So yeah, my stance on that is, if you have an opportunity to go somewhere to better your life and better your life for your family and get them an opportunity, take that opportunity every single time, because everybody in the United States is doing that every single day. They'll sit here and complain about somebody who comes over here to try to do exactly what they're trying to do every single day. They're out here trying to make it big. They're out here trying to get themselves to a place to where they're comfortable and don't have to worry about finance and don't have to worry about anything like that anymore. They want to be secure. They want to be stable. But if somebody, God forbid, somebody else want to have the same thing and they feel like they're taking something from them. So if you don't like the competition, then I suggest you work harder. That's my only suggestion to that. But like I said before, everybody's entitled to feel the way that they feel. I respect the way that people feel regarding this issue, but I don't have to respect what you're saying. I can respect your right to say it and your right to feel that way, but I don't respect the content. So I just leave it at that, man, and I'm gonna get out of here. This is your boy D Mac, man. Y'all know what I say. Sticks and stones can break your bones, but a word can always heal you. I'm out. Bye.